Hey guys, this is part two of the collection that I got in recently. Today I'm going to go over the Lugers. So part one was the Walthers. I just went over those. If you haven't watched them, you can go check it out. Just take a look at part one, the Walther collection. Those are going to sell really quickly, very popular. Part two, I'm going to do Lugers. There's not as many of them, but I'm going to start out with Navy Lugers. These are both beautiful Navy holsters, but they're both commercial Navy guns. Let's take a look. Okay, this is the first one, and this is probably the nicest of the two, a little bit more money. But let me say a little bit about commercial navies before we get started. Commercial navies are actually rarer than the military issued ones, meaning they went to the Navy. But the ones that went to the Navy are more expensive because they went to the Navy. So you can pick up a commercial Navy for a bit less than a Navy issued gun. This one in particular is in beautiful condition, but let's start with the holster. It does have a maker mark here and a logo. This is a real Navy holster. The holster alone easily can go for $1,500. I've seen them over $2,000, but this one is it's in pretty good condition, probably about as good as they come. There is no tool in there, but let's take the gun out. This is the commercial gun. Now, first and foremost, you can see that it has the crown and proof, which is just the commercial proof, which is correct. It does come in 9mm. But a true Navy, if it's been issued to the Navy, it will have the Navy Inspector or Navy Acceptance stamp, and they look like this. Most of you are used to those. And they have several variations. I'll talk about the different variations when I mention this book by Dave Molchan. But let's get back to this commercial gun. So what happened at the end of the war, they stopped production. They probably had some already ordered, so they finished producing them and they sold them commercially. It's probably more complicated than that, but basically the Navy was not allowed to order any more weapons because of the Treaty of Versailles. So therefore they had these guns ready to go, but they never went to the Navy. This one was exported probably to the United States. You see the Germany marking. You also see halos around the Germany. So I believe this is all original finish from the factory, original straw, and this is absolutely beautiful. I think it's as good as they come. You even see some fire blue in there. Now the barrel is not numbered or marked in any way. There's no proof mark, there's no numbering. The barrel is not marked. I have seen others that certainly would have had the crown end proof under here, and others that have the serial number along here. But in this case, the barrel does not look replaced to me, but I'm just mentioning that it's not numbered at all. Made by DWM, this 100 is not a serial number, but rather the adjustment for 100 meters, or okay, true life confession, off camera, it was really hard to pull back, but we did get it back with Randy's help, 100 meter, 200 meters, so it's an adjustable sight to push. Oh, now it moves easily. It was just stuck, probably a little dried grease in there. Okay, it worked really well. Very little wear, holster wear, a little bit of wear here, a little bit of wear, just a gorgeous gun. Now it does have the concentric circle. Notice fire blue on that screw. The grips are not marked. Nickeled magazine, and blank bottom, which is fine for a commercial gun. So this is a very nice commercial Navy. Comes from a very nice collection. As I said, probably as good as I've seen. Maybe it'll stay with me. And it came with an original Navy holster. Now let's take a look at this second one. Same maker mark. Seems to me, there's actually a name right here. I can't really read it. Maybe you can see there's somebody put a little marking in there. And I believe this one was dated. It is. This says 1916, I believe. There's another marking above it, and then 1916. Again, there is no tool, but a correct, and actually this holster's a little bit better than the other one. Probably should have swapped that, but I'll leave it alone. This is the way they came in the door. Now this one has a little bit more wear on the straw. You can see side by side. The straw isn't as bright, and this one has a little bit more wear. Also, I believe this one was refinished. Now, I think it was Arsenal refinished, meaning it was probably made for the war, sent back. They reworked it a little bit. Again, this one has the crown U, and it looks a little filled in. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe this is original finish, but this looks a little filled in as opposed to this marking, which is sharp and crisp. When we look at the bottom, notice this one does have the proofs and the serial number here and here. They're also numbered here, and also under the side plate. This one is numbered under the side plate and under here, but we've already discussed the lack of marks on the barrel. So this barrel is more what I'm used to, that has the proof and the number, but I'm not 100% sure that this is original finish just because that looks a little filled in. I could be wrong. If you want to comment, feel free. This side actually looks a lot better. You can see the straw looks really good. And again, hardly any wear. Both these are model, well, this is a 1906, model 1906, because it has the additional grip safety. This is a 1908, no grip safety. And it also has the adjustable rear sight, and this one pops back very easily, DWM. Now, before I go on to the other Lugers, I wanted to mention this book because it just came to me in the mail. It's by Dave Molchan. I knew it was coming for many, many months. He talked about the fact that he was doing a book on Navy Lugers. Obviously, I did the book on Axis pistols. And I just reviewed another book on FN Brownings, but I wanted to at least go over this book. If you collect Navies or if you have a Navy, this is a great resource, great pictures in it. That was his granddaughter, by the way. So, but the first one is a 1904. Probably you didn't even know they made one, but that's like finding a singer. So he has the 1904, then we'll have the model 1906 coming up. And there's the model 1906. You can see that over here, and the stock. So it has pictures of all the different variations. But there's also one other thing about this book that it makes it extremely helpful. Over the years, I used to always ask for Norm Rabinowitz's list. He collected data from the forums of guns and took notes on them. This, by the way, is just a list of all the property marks and the serial numbers. So you can, if you have Navy, you can look it up and see if it's been previously reported. Also, you can see the ranges there. So if you're contemplating buying one, you can look up and see, okay, here's the property numbers, and it should be in this range. Here's the B range, the C range, all the different serial numbers. But what I wanted to show you on Rabinowitz list, Norm Rabinowitz's, with help from others, he collected this data for a very long time. Now the red is red flag. So remember I said the 1904 was the rarest. It's kind of like buying a Singer. You can see there's problems with every one of these. A lot of times red means fake, and it'll say it's fake. But other times it just means something was changed out. Something is not original, something has been restamped, there's something wrong with it. As we go through this, you'll see when buying a Navy, you really need to have this kind of a book where you can go through and look it up. Look at, there's issues. There are red flagged with every one of these. It's getting a little better over here. For example, profusely engraved, that means engraved a whole lot. This one is fake and assembled. We'll keep going. See, now this is getting a little better here. So you get information about the gun. This one is in France, a lot of good information, but every page has red flags, meaning there's something wrong with the gun. And so when I go to buy a gun or I see a gun on auction, I like to look it up in this list. It's a very valuable resource. This is just all 1906s, and then we'll get into 1908 Navies, and then, just basically, here's some commercial guns. And so I'll look up and see if these were reported, but these are commercial guns. So these books are available brand new, hot off the press, available from the author, or just go to our website. It's available under our resource books. Okay, we've moved on to World War II. This is a Mauser 42 code on 1940. You can tell it's from Canada because it has the Canadian tag, not flag, a Canadian tag. I do have a price on that one. It is all matching except for the magazine. The magazine does not match the gun, but everything else is matching. You can see it is $9.90 and letter suffix C. Beautiful finish, not much wear at all. Only the grip straps are a little bit light. Yeah, front and back a little bit light, but otherwise a beautiful example of a World War II wartime German Luger. I believe this one is the same exact thing. Has the holster. The holster's dated 1938. I know from a previous video that is a GI number, but it has the maker acceptance stamp in 1938. We open it up. There is a tool, and I believe it's blank. Let's check that out. Yes, the tool appears to be blank. We'll put that back in there. The interior is really clean on this one. There's that number again. That's like a GI number. And this one is in about the same condition. You can see it's Mauser code 42, 1940. A little bit of patina in here, but overall a beautiful gun. You see a little bit of plum finish here. And here there's the acceptance proofs, which are 655. And then the test eagle. On this one, the straps are just a little bit nicer. And because it comes as a rig, it looks like somebody put their initial there or something. But yeah, it's a P. So that one has been marked a little bit, but otherwise the straps are a little bit better than the previous one. This gun, which is maybe 1% better than the other, is also all matching. Except it also has a matching magazine. You can see that it is a matching magazine with the D suffix, same as right here. So it does have one matching magazine, and that helps the value quite a bit. That looks like almost a plum. Notice the plum in here? This actually has a plum. The tube has a little bit of a plum hue. I'm not sure if you can see that in the video, but I can see it with my eyeballs. All right, are you ready for it? This one is going to rock your world. Okay, we have a brown holster. This is a Luftwaffe belt buckle. And they came together, so I'm leaving them together. So Luftwaffe and brown holsters are often associated with each other. This one also, you can see the maker mark, the Waffen stamp, and is dated 1937. But what we have inside is a Krieghoff. That was like a drum roll right then. It was a dramatic pause. That's what that's called. Okay, we have a 1936 Krieghoff Luger. We already said this is a 37. Now, somebody will ask, and of course I would also ask, doesn't this come with a Krieghoff holster? I'm not sure that all of them did. Certainly everyone that left the Krieghoff factory didn't necessarily go in a Krieghoff holster. But if you read my book on Third Reich Lugers, I do mention that a lot of guns went to the Luftwaffe that were not made by Krieghoff. So the Luftwaffe had these assemblies already together. So it's very likely that these could have been together for a very long time. As I mentioned, this is how the gun came. And so I'm leaving it alone. And what makes it extra, extra special is, another drum roll, we have two matching magazines. Here you see the serial number here and the two matching magazines. Now, whenever you have a gun with two matching magazines, I always worry about them being faked or force matched. What I look for in here is, notice the one has the flag on it. That's what we call the flag. That's the little line that goes up before it goes down. They have a long flag on these. And also, the 5 has a stubby neck. The 4s are very unique. And if you study them quite a bit, you can see that they are the exact same font. And in my opinion, definitely not faked. Same is true for this number. The gun is all matching. It has a few minor issues, such as, like wear here. There is a tiny scratch here. It's got the nice high polish finish. There's some wear here. There's holster wear. Seems like there was a little bit of scutchies or schmutzies here on the front strap, and a little bit on the back strap. But a gun like this is not going to last long. People call me all the time looking for 2-match mag rigs. It's very, very rare to see. Just look at this whole assembly. This was in the Luftwaffe during World War II, came back from the war, I believe, in this exact configuration and has stayed together all these years. So this is an incredible find. These are, by the way, what we call a brownish red Bakelite grip. Which is correct for 1936. So this one won't last long. By the time the video comes out, it'll probably already be gone. Okay, I have just 3 left. These 2 are Canadian Rescues. Again, you can tell by the tag. This is the way they import them, and that's an ATF registration, so we know that everything was done legally. And then my last one, I'm going to show you a G date. But let's go through the Canadian Rescues. This one is a 1918 Luger DWM. It is all matching except for the magazine, original finish. Never diverted to the police, not reworked. It doesn't have the 1920 stamp. So it is military proofed, so it went to the German army during World War I. Look at the grips on this, just absolutely beautiful, wonderful condition. And as I said, everything matches except for the mag. In fact, the mag is a World War II magazine because it has an aluminum bottom. There's a little bit of well, there's a bad spot right there. I was going to say that's not even wear. It's a bad spot, and I want to point that out, particularly for somebody who wants to buy this. But you can see the halos here. So we know it's an original condition, never reworked or sent back to the factory. No police markings, no unit markings, but just a really nice example of a 1918, and that gives you an idea on pricing. But over 100 years old, and still shoots very well. This second one is also from World War I, except this is a 1916 DWM, and in about the same condition. If we look at these 2, about the same condition on the top, this side. So this one we haven't covered, but notice this one has the correct wooden magazine. So this is an original World War I magazine, although it does not match the gun. So once again, this is all matching, straw small parts. This one's boogered up a little bit here, a little bit of wear here, a little bit of patina. But the straps are a lot better than the last one. You'll notice that this strap's on the 16 is better. Back strap, same thing. It's got a very nice back strap. The grips, I believe, are numbered to the gun, and the straw small parts still is really nice. There's the Imperial proofs, meaning it went to the German army. And again, no rework marking, no police sear here. So it's in all original condition from World War I, over 100 years old, altogether, and original, except for the magazine. Magazine is correct, by the way, World War I magazine, but not a matching magazine. This last one I'm going to cover is the G-date rig. These are getting harder and harder to find. Now, G-dates often won't be in a 1935 holster. This one is not marked back here, which makes me scratch my head, and I think, they usually mark them, so I wonder where it's marked. Lo and behold, it's on the inside. So let's pull this out. Pull that out real quick, and we can see, as soon as I see the interior, I know this is a 1934 because G-date had an extra tool here. They were the only ones that had the cleaning rod in here. So I know right away this is a 1934, and it says 1934. Also is numbered, but not to this gun, because this holster was made in 34, and the gun was made in 35. But you can see the condition of the holster here, and it's pretty average condition, 1934, so technically a K-date. They must have had a lot of K-date holsters left over because in 1939 they made very few and they used up the old 34 holsters. Now here's the gun itself. I believe this is an early G-date. So the code this time, remember before it was 42 code, now it's S42. You see the G. I can see halos on the bottom here. The halos are actually a bit light, but you can see it here. And then the suffix, I believe that's an A suffix. Look at the straps on that, 1935, beautiful straps, beautiful straw color. There's the proof marks, military mark. Look how beautiful that yellow is. But the proof marks tell me that it's an early G-date because acceptance stamps are Yeah, the first one is W154, which is a rare early proof, and the second proof is an S42 with the test firing proof here and here, and it has a matching magazine. Again, the font on the K date and the G date is very unique. If you take a look at it, the 2 is different, the 3 has a flat top, you can see the suffix, and then it also has a B90 proof, which would be correct for an early G date. So this is a matching magazine with the correct proof. Beautiful gun in 9mm. Really hard to find a G date or a K date with a matching magazine. So this one won't last long. Somebody out there is going to want it for sure. Hey, thanks for watching. That was part 2 of our guns that I got in recently from a large collection. The ones that are remaining are going to be miscellaneous, almost all rigs, but there's some rare guns in there as well. So make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be notified when we come out with part 3.